I see you in. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a podcast of Georgia Carrera or Carrera Georgia at
Or Catwoman.
Indikin.com.
Oh, Catwoman. How about
Or
that?
Catwoman. Say hello to Dashi. Hello,
Hi,
Dashi.
Dashi.
So
Hello, everyone.
this is a fun surprise. You sent me a couple of videos. You as Peach. You as like a horror movie
Yes,
person.
yes, yes. Well, hello. First of all, hello, everyone. Hello, also everyone in YouTube and in where are we streaming? X, YouTube, everywhere.
Mhm.
Thank you, Randy, and thank you to your listeners for or your viewers for allowing me to be part of this. I'm so excited, guys. I had to dress to the occasion. Of course. This is a tribute to you, guys.
Thank you. It seems great. And I in the thumbnail, I used the photo of you with you have a red wig on and you have
Yes.
what is that little dude on the side?
Oh, that is my Halloween stream, guys. I go all the way out. I have children, so I saved all his and hers costumes through the year, and I love Halloween. I love dressing up. As you can see, I think I'm gonna wear this costume for the rest of my life. And that is a mask that I got for my son. And she's ugly, but I think she deserves a spotlight, so I put her there. And that was me as Red Riding Hood. So
Very good. I
Mm.
one of my more famous cosplays that I used to do, and I don't know if I have it here, was Bane from the I guess here's a decent photo. Was
Let's
Bane
see.
from the Batman universe
Ooh,
and Bane has a very nice
wow.
has a lot of scenes with Catwoman, and I think it was
Ooh,
really cool.
maybe we can do the scenes. Maybe
I
we
think
can play them together.
yeah,
I,
we
I
can go
dare
on
you.
and
I dare you. Look at those. Is those guns real?
they are. I'm all natty. At that time,
Holy
I was in
cow.
the military, so definitely all natty. But I've been all natty my entire life. Um,
Holy cat. Holy cat. Look at that. You're dangerous, man. Be careful, Be careful out there.
there's I think that's what helps. That's what helped me. You ever watch Modern Family?
Yes.
Where Jay goes into Cam's gay bowling league. And at first he's like, so they're all gay people? You told him I'm gay? No one would ever believe I'm gay. And then by the end, he's just like, you think he likes me? And then
Well, you
Cam says,
see, yeah, that's the bad thing. Everybody denies everything, but everybody wants to be everything, right?
yeah,
Yes, it's like yeah, I love costumes because it makes me express my and I'm being excuse me, I am being like, a little bit of holding back right here. Hey, DJ
oh,
Left
yeah.
House, another one of the Indikins. I am being a little bit, respectful right now because I'm in your stream, guys.
You don't have
I
to
don't.
be.
I
Like,
want
we,
no. Trust me. We'll be here talking for a little bit. I'm gonna
okay.
reveal my identity. There we go. There we go. Woo! This is
Ooh,
Catwoman and dressing for you guys.
ooh, ooh, girl. So be advised, like, I'm currently quite tipsy. And
I know
I've
you.
done
You
inter
should have told me. I'm Argentinian. I'm only drinking mate. This is the Argentinian drink. It's tea,
oh,
but it kicks in like 2 shots of vodka
okay, good,
if I
good.
drink vodka.
I've done interviews drunk. I've done interviews on acid before, so it is all good. Like, whatever
I've
you
never
want to
done
do.
drugs. I've never done it. I'm so good. You guys, am I the only one ever existed person that has never done? I've never. Hi, Adrian. Oh, you have good. I'm so glad I'm out of my community because I know Tom Gillespie. He's my idol. I
Yeah.
can't
Why
believe
is he
he's
your
here.
idol? Why?
Yes, we'll
Why?
we'll talk about him later
Okay,
on.
we'll
But
talk about him
I've
later.
never done I've never done anything. I'm in a time of my age that I think I'm behind schedule. I need to try everything. Should I? You guys give me advice. Should I or should I leave it alone? I
It
don't know.
depends
I
on
don't
what.
smoke, drink. I drink occasionally if it's champagne. Catwoman like champagne,
Okay.
and cheap one. Don't worry, guys. I'm not the expensive kind. But I think there's always a first time for everything, and never judge anyone because you never know where you're going to end up. You never know what you're going to do in the future. So my mom says something very important: do not spit on the air because the spit will land right on your face. So next, sorry, Red.
Feel ya. So there's a I guess it depends what type of person you are. Like, you ever see Watchmen?
I don't think so.
On one of the scenes, the like Superman god type person, he talks to this girl and on like another planet. I think they're on Mars. And he says, like, this is why I don't tell you things, because your mind goes to such dark places. And it if your mind typically goes to dark places, drugs are probably not the best thing for you. Like, although for mushrooms, and I guess both acid and mushrooms, it tends to help you work through what you're going through. And even though it sucks at the time, you're just like, oh, it feels so much better. Like a painful poop. Like, oh my God, this is horrible. But then at
Dude,
the end, it's like, oh,
I hope they sell, I wish they sell them at the supermarket. So sometimes we go through so many things, and you learn to cope with other things. Doesn't mean that we don't go to the food and we don't go to the drinks or to other activities.
yeah.
But yes, I I think there's, through the comic books and through all this imagination, I think that is the reality of things, that really what we feel. That's the beauty of cartoons and being able to dress as a character, that you can really tell your true feelings. And there's some wise advice, come on, we go to, you guys were talking in VeVe, as for Spider-Man. I want to know more about VeVe.
Of
And
course.
I always think about this, with great power comes responsibility. I always tell that to my son. And I think it's amazing what comic books, teaches. So I'm a big
Yeah.
fan, big fan.
Someone asked me the other day something, it might not even have been related, but I went on like this tangent that I've been around people or have dated these type of people, girls. I've never dated guys, but that when I ask them about, like, oh, have you ever watched any anime, or have you ever read any comic books? And especially the ones that are like college educated, and they're like, no, I read like actual literature. And I was like, listen, I do too, and that's great. But some of the best lines and some of the best literature and dialogue that like has moved me
Yes,
has
real
been from,
life.
yeah, it's been from
Re-
anime and comic books and manga.
yeah, real life. Real life. I love anime. I think my journey with cartoons, let's put it this way, started when I fallen, guys, I was in love with Speed Racer. Yes, I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. This is not just I was a little child watching Speed Racer, and was completely in love with him.
Was
And
was it on Boomerang?
it was in Argentina. I grew up in
Okay.
Argentina, guys. I was born
Okay.
here in the United States. I live in LA, and I grew up in Argentina. And we had, the Speed Racer. We had just the Pink Panther, pink, I'm a little bit, I maintain, cats, we don't age. We have 7 lives. So
Of course.
um I love the being part of something without, being real. That's what the cartoons did. I don't know what I just, guys, I'm sorry. It's too
No,
early for me. I was just working. I was dressed like this working. I work in court, and I was dressed like this, with a
it's
judge in
amazing.
front of me. Believe me, if you ask me to turn on my camera, that's what I'm a little bit out of. So it is too early for me. It's 1 o'clock for you, and you're drinking. I just woke up 2 hours ago. Sorry.
Well, we had told each other we would have a little drink,
Yes.
in here, so I
Do I
did.
have anything? Should I go get something? It's too early.
100%. 100%.
Hold on. I'll be right back,
Only
guys.
live
Just
once. YOLO. Get
talk
it.
to
Get the
them.
drink.
Talk to them. Talk to
I
them.
will. I will.
We need to celebrate this. Come on. I'll
Yes,
be
we
right back.
do.
Hold on. Let me put on my so they won't recognize me when I'm drinking. I'll be right back.
So, hey everyone, in case you're new here, I'm the real Randy Chavez. A lot of times I cover a lot of NFTs, finance, but I also really love to go deep into what people do for fun. How did they get here? Like, every human you go and interact with, whether you meet them at a bar, at a baseball game, at the gym, they got there somehow. And how did they get there? Every poker player tells a different way to play a hand. There's more than different ways to skin a cat, and there's multiple ways that
I'm
people
gonna
can get.
strip on the back.
into our lives. Oh,
They told me not to play music because I get in
yeah,
trouble.
we can
So
get
I'm gonna
demonetized.
play it myself. I learned this on burlesque. You just go like that. Oh no, you just go like, how was it like that? And then you pull the glove and it flies to the people's face. That's another thing I want to learn. Look what I have here, guys. I
What
have
you
I love Korean, I love Japanese, I love everything that has to do
got?
with
Sake?
Asian. So I have no. This is just like it's not that bad, but it's a little bit. It's soju.
Mm.
But look what I have. My sister just went to Korea and Japan and brought me this. I think this is. I don't know what this is, but it's from Mount Fuji. She went to Mount Fuji. Is that Japan? Hola.
I think
Indikins
so.
are
Let
here.
me check.
I don't even
I gotta
know. Is check? Let me check if I'm streaming through my channels. I don't know
You
if I'm
are.
streaming through my
There's
channel.
two X's that you connected.
Yes, it's my Indikin family and myself, but I don't know if I'm like, is anyone watching? Everybody's sleeping
There's
in my.
67 people here.
Oh, good. All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
We'll
Where's
get a
my
lot
people?
more as
Okay.
it goes on.
Yes, and this is from Mount Fuji. I'm gonna open the little glass.
Ooh,
I
okay.
promised that I was not gonna open this until New Year's Eve. So if my sister gets upset, you're in trouble. Little shot.
Oh, is that a
What
shot
is
glass?
this?
Oh, that's so cool.
This is guys. This is directly from Mount Fuji. Can you see it? She went to Mount
Yes.
Fuji, and I don't know. I think it's soju, and it's like I'm on it. Can you hear that?
Ooh, oh
I'm just
yeah, I
doing this
do.
because of Randy, and
Fresh.
it will go against everything I've ever said on the stream. So
Fresh.
this is gonna be like I should have.
So there. Cheer. Oh, so hold on. We got a cheers.
We have a cheer to
Cheers, mate.
everyone who's watching. We have to say something. What are you? I'm gonna say something.
It was Jason Pena's birthday recently, so we can do a happy birthday to him.
This is for you, Jason. Jason, salud. Arriba, abajo, al centro y adentro. Okay, salud.
Ooh, that was a big gulp that I did. That was a big gulp.
That was so good.
Let me go to my Telegram. I'll have a bunch of people on here real quick. Let me go to my Telegram and be like,
my voice just went 2 degrees deeper. Oh my goodness, my hair turned into.
So there was you mentioned Speed Racer.
Yes.
And I think like 08, 09, they had a Speed Racer movie. I remember because
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. No,
Oh,
I didn't know. I know that there was a scene with the. You know what? I just like. I like the illusion. I like the original. I don't like so much the remakes. Some of the remakes are really really good, but they use a lot of CGI.
CGI, yeah.
CGI. So, I like the original. I like dan 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 dan. You don't get in trouble if I sing, right?
No. Sing it 100%. Wait,
You know.
that's the Flintstones.
Oh God, that is. What was the Speed Racer? You see, you got me drunk already. Don't take advantage of me, Randy.
Yeah, you're talking about the Flintstones. It's the Flintstones. Town of Bedrock.
So what was the Speed Racer?
I don't remember the song, but I remember. So I saw for Americans, there was this thing called Boomerang, where on Boomerang.
I remember Boomerang.
Yeah, they played all the old stuff.
Everything.
They played the Jetsons, they played Speed Racer, they played all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. And I remember seeing Speed Racer because it came out at the same time as Iron Man. So back in the day, like you could go and you pay for one movie and then you go into another and another.
Yes, I used to work for men theaters, guys. I used to work for men theaters, and we had something that you pay for it. The parents used to drop off the kids like 8 o'clock in the morning during the vacation, and they will stay there for the entire day. That was my first job. I work at the concession stand. I didn't speak English. You know, I grew up in Argentina. I came back and I didn't speak English. I was like 18, 19 years old. Yeah. And it was I learned English at the movie theaters. I love that. I'm already drunk already, guys. With one drink. Girl. You know what? Tell me about VeVe. I'll tell you about Indikins later on. I forgot what I was here for, but I'm having fun.
Okay.
This
I
is
do
so
want
much
to go
fun.
over the one thing you reminded me of
Yes.
Speed Racer though. So there was what was his brother's name? Like Racer X
The
or
one, the supposedly X, yeah,
yeah.
Racer X, the one that it was the bad guy, supposedly, that disappeared. And
So Speed Racer was doing this race, and so this is in the movie, and he's about to like beat, so his brother's Racer X or whatever, he had the record of the fastest lap like ever, or the fastest time ever, and he's going to win, he's going to beat the record, and then he lets go of the gas, and he lets his brother's record remain. And it reminds me of a story about, I think, Mario Kart. Have you ever played that?
no, I have to go. I have Universal Studios at like 10 minutes from here, and they have the Mario Brother
Oh,
thing. So
that's so
I'm
cool.
gonna
All right,
I'm
we
gonna
have to talk
stream
about that
one day.
later. But
Yes.
there's this story of where this came out in like 2000 like 9 or something. For the Nintendo 64, they had this thing called time trials where you could go in and you could have your fastest, you can do the track of any track without the rest of the people in there, without the NPCs. You just race yourself
Hmm.
and you get the fastest time available. And this kid and his dad used to play. And then his dad died from something, I forget what. And he didn't touch the game for years. And then like years later, so again, this came out in the 90s. So in like the
Hmm.
mid late 2000s, this kid goes to play again and he's like, let me see what I can do with the times or whatever. And he goes to the time trials. And on the time trials, your fastest time that you have on there is recorded in the game, and you essentially race yourself. And the last fastest time was his dad.
Oh God, you're gonna make me cry right now. Alcohol and like sad stories. Oh my
Well, it's
God.
fun. I think it's a little happy
That
because
is like,
his
I know, that is like amazing. So he
so
was
he's
able
racing his dad, and
to.
at some point he's like about to beat him, but he's like, I can't, that's my dad. So he, in the same way that Speed Racer does it, he like lets go of the gas and lets his dad win. So he's gonna continue to play with him. I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's so awesome.
That is amazing. That you see, that's part of like a movie with, just characters showing people something positive, something that has feelings. Yeah, we are here in the games. Look at Jason, was it your birthday? Did you?
It was his
Oh,
birthday like last week, I think.
felicidades, muchísimas que los cumplas
Where's his
feliz,
birth?
que
It
los
was
cumplas
on
feliz,
the
que
28th
los
of June.
cumplas, que los cumplas, que los cumplas feliz. Happy birthday! I love celebrating. Next time, invite me to your birthday. If you're doing something, we should celebrate it here, at
We
least on
should.
a
He's in
stream
New
or
York, I
something.
think. So where are you at? So are you in
I
Florida
have a
or California?
passport. I have a passport, guys. If you want to invite me, I can play. I can show up as Catwoman or or Raven from The Exorcist. I do this a lot, guys. I do this a lot.
Yes. So wait.
So,
So I know you said passport. And you said you were near the Universal Florida.
no, Universal Hollywood. Yeah, I'm here in LA.
California.
I'm a California girl. I'm a California girl.
Love
Born
Katy
in
Perry.
California, raised in Argentina until I was 18, and then came back. And
Okay, cool.
I've been here since that time. I love California. I know that a lot of people don't like it. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of good things about everything. If you're born somewhere, they tell people, they ask people, why do you still there if it's so bad? Because it has really good things. I want to go blind with this, because it has really good, really, really good things. DCAT, DCAT, the cat is in the house. I did this for you, the cat, and I got you too. Yeah. I got the cat. I was able to get some on my Ethereum wallet. So
Heck yeah.
I'm part of the community. Thank you so much for
Or
introducing me
you got
to.
to join the Telegram. So be advised, guys, for the actual daCAT X, they they somehow got their account compromised, and they're telling everyone to go to claimdacat.com. That is a scam. Do not connect your wallet. They will try to drain it. So we reported it like a million times.
I'm glad you
Um,
told me. I
yeah.
was gonna be there.
So
I was gonna be
there's no airdrops. I will check my email and cards will go Slayer. Thank you. This is just we try. Well, I sometimes. I mean, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, Tom Gillespie is guys. Tom Gillespie is one of my
Oh yeah, why
my
is he a
fellow
hero?
Indikins.
What is Indikin and who is Tom and why? Tell us about
I
all of that.
don't know. You got me drunk before I can talk about it. But anyway, you see, that's a trick they have. They don't want me to shine here on the spot. No,
Oh yeah,
guys, Indikin, Indikin, we're a group of um, filmmakers and creators, and we all have the same goals and desires to help other filmmakers. In the industry, to be an independent filmmaker is very, very. Hold on, I should fix it. There we go. To be an independent filmmaker, it's very, very hard. Why? Because you dream all your life, you work really hard, you have a project that you put everything you have in, and then that project lands on the hands of the big networks, and it goes, on a corner office, on a big drawer, and it gets forgotten, or it gets completely destroyed and taken apart, and become something that you did not create. And most of these productions are extremely expensive, just to have, the if you're independent filmmakers, the equipment, the production, the editing, everything, it's, most of them don't come with any budgets to produce their movies. So, a bunch of people that we love movies and we love producing and we love films, we got together and we created Indikin. Indikin is, if you go to indikin.com, you see here on my name, you have all the information, all the detail, because I am not like the best person, especially in this state of mind, to tell you guys. No, I'm not drunk, but I'm not here to talk so much about my Indigins. I want you to go check it out. There's incredible filmmakers. Tom Gillespie is one of our, for me, is my favorite character. He produced several documentaries that are specifically about crypto. And if you go check out the fake influencer, the Hexicans, the time value of money, he's coming out with another one called the DJ Generation, and he talks. Oh, it's all regarding crypto and the transformation, or mm, the the way that it's going, or the way that it came from, and things like that. So check out indikin.com. We're trying to merge Web3 with the real world and make sure that the filmmakers have some kind of way of making their ideas, their dreams, their pieces of art, because films are, it's art. We're trying to support that way, and trying to also to promote film and crypto, to make sure they start utilizing the blockchain technology and include that into their productions. And it's guys, let me tell you something. No one's talking about this. Advertising, advertiser, it's very expensive, and it's very not accessible for the little people. But you have filmmakers that could put a lot of, I'm not talking about product placement, I'm talking about including the subject within their films. And I think that's important. I watch a lot of movies from, or K dramas, and they include crypto within the whole story. And that's amazing. That's free advertising. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see that, more of that. The same thing with the comic book. How about including one of the characters that has a collection, or is after a collection of I'm just imagining, movies,
yeah.
how to promote whatever we believe in. So
Agreed. Agreed. You have a ton of people on here from daCAT. Says all for the love of money. Agreed. And the things money can buy. Love
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Won the Corvette lineage on VeVe. Used to own its Z06. Now own a C7 Stingray. Nice. So you mentioned you want to learn more about VeVe. Do you have an
Yes, I
account?
do. I do. I love anime, and I've been, this is funny. I went not too long ago. I went to get an autograph at one of the conventions, the anime conventions here at the LA Convention Center, and I've never been in an anime conference, and I saw everyone, with costumes and role playing, and I saw the voices of the all the anime cartoons, characters, and I sat at a table, and they were a group of guys that were with their kids buying and opening bags of cards, collector cards that they were getting.
Yeah.
They bought some and they were looking for one in particular, and these guys opened that bag of trading cards, and they got what they want. And when I saw that reaction, that passion, that the eyes of the dad with the kid, like celebrating, and everybody like gathered, and I was just sitting on the table, just like observing all this, I realized how powerful the 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 fact of collecting an item, the passion that is behind that. And then I got an autograph from Captain Kirk from Star Wars.
Oh, Star Trek.
And I know Star Trek, Star Wars, Star Trek. What am I saying? Star Wars, Star Trek. And I had to stand online for hours, and then I had to go certify that with the company that certifies that is a true autograph, a real autograph. And I see all these people, I just stand there, and the community is incredible. So being here and seeing VeVe, what you guys do with collectors, with collecting art through blockchain technology and through the digital. So tell me more. I wanted to know more, and I don't know more, and I didn't want to go and do the search and things like that because I wanted to get it from the source. So you tell me about VeVe. Me as a consumer, I have children. Maybe that's something that I want to use for my children to leave something to them for the future. Leave something with value or leave something with memories, like that kid that you just mentioned that had, the record on that
Yeah.
didn't was not worth anything but the memories. That's what I want to know about VeVe.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways to go about it. You have a business perspective where there was a need for, like, everything's going to go on blockchain eventually, whether it's gym membership or
Mhm.
outside of a gym membership, it would be people buying cars, deeds of houses,
Real
etc.
estate, real
Yeah.
estate,
Yeah.
birth certificates, documents, everything. It's already there.
Yeah.
Just have to learn how to use it.
So there was a time, and I'm trying to find the post right now of my post about Alibaba. And do you know what Alibaba is?
Yeah, the shopping place where you can.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the stocks.
Very good. So there was a time, and I don't know why it's not here right now. But long story short, what Alibaba did is they had put out a press release ahead of their IPO, and they were not talking about ROI. They weren't talking about revenues. They were talking about convenience. And like, hey, instead of going out doing whatever, like, you can shop here and spend more time with your family. And they weren't talking about like financials. They were
Mhm,
talking about biology of like, what do you feel in your heart? And I was like,
mhm,
that owner is like a genius. And what David Yu of VeVe did was pretty much the same thing. He won in the financial aspect. Like for me, I'd come from like the Pokemon business where I'm spending insane amounts of money on these cards, and God forbid, like, my house goes on fire, or God forbid, like,
yeah.
there's a robber or like a flood. I used to live right on the water. So I put all of my valuable cards in a bank vault, and I couldn't look at the art. I couldn't, like, there's historical significance. And a lot of what rich people do is they buy whatever expensive like pieces of art, and they put the actual pieces in a warehouse, and then they put the
Copy.
fakes. Yeah, they put the
They
fakes
display the
in there.
copy, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, it's different, it hits different. So what VeVe did is they said, like, let's put everything on chain. And they got all of these amazing licenses from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, all of Disney. They got Powerpuff Girls and Ghostbusters and Adventure Time, Cartoon Network. And they had said, like, you don't need to worry about temperature. You don't need to worry about sunlight. You don't need to worry about physical damage. You could punch your phone out a window and it would be, your collectibles would be safe. And the biggest part when I was in the Pokemon business, I had an entire business around Pokemon cards, is my clients would say, my wife or girlfriend said that they want me to stop because they put all of their collectibles or all of their cards in a room. It already took over a room in the house, and they said, you're done, no more. And that was the biggest complaint I had from my clients, is with space. But I have like 1,600 collectibles and comics on my phone, and it doesn't really take up any space.
Yeah.
So my friend who I live with right now, he's got well in the six figures, probably multiple six figures worth of art, and it's beautiful to look at. But he said that he feels like tethered by it. He feels that he can't move because it's there's so much stuff, and you have to make sure that it's in a place that's decently temperature. There's no sunlight, and God forbid it floods. So he feels bound by them. So he kind of wants to sell it. But he's a level 100 on VeVe, and to be a level 100 on VeVe, you've had to spend minimum six figures. You had to have had a lot of stuff, and he was one of the first level 100s. He probably put in well over six figures. So a lot of people that are in that, like, there's in the super upper echelon of people that they buy houses specifically so they can put their artwork there. My friend's not in that level yet. He probably will be by the end of the bull market. But I think that's who VeVe is targeting. Everyone talks about, like, oh, you can't have, if every millionaire wanted a Bitcoin, they couldn't get it. But very few people are talking about people that have 100,000 to 900,000 in liquidity that's ready to go. And if they were anything like me, which I think a lot of them are, they want to put it somewhere that they know it's in a disruptive company, it's innovative. They have a crazy kind of, Coin Bureau said that the companies or tokens attached to companies that have revenues, that they can do buybacks, they can do burns, they can do whatever, but attached to legitimate businesses, are going to skyrocket. That's going to be a big narrative. Same with NFTs, AI, and all that. So it's not my biggest bag, Omi, which is the VeVe coin. It's my second biggest bag, but only because it got punished so badly with the bear market.
It's pretty much what we're doing with Indikin as well. We're just like, we have we have the films, the filmmakers, the Indikin, which we do a lot of things. We're working in a streaming service, guys, just so you know. I can't tell you too much about it, but it's soon, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be ready. But we're putting something that is tangible together with the cryptocurrency or the tokens. Each one of the 5 filmmakers where the founding members have a token. So you can see it's LOL. It's actually Lola. That is my token. And we have, there we go. There we go. There we go. We have, we're trying to do that, just to tie each filmmaker token. So when one grows, or Indikin, which is like the founding members and the ones who actually have a product, and the tokens will be like our merchandise. We promote, which we each promote. I don't do it very often, to be honest. Lola, it's my girl. She's a puppet, suck puppet. She's 5 years old. She's doing really bad in school, so I don't let her out and I don't let her stream and do things. But each one of us promote our own token. And then if one grows, it's like a net of the other ones are lifted as well. And we're looking for filmmakers, for content creators. Go check out Indikin.com and I'll give you more information if you want to become one of us. We're here to help you. We're people with not only money in our vision, it's Indikin, it's independent and kinship. That's what we're trying to do. We want to be your friends. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to share what we have access to. And I think, majority of us who are part of Indikin, we are at a level that we've been through everything. We've been through working for big corporations. Thank you, Wolverine. Wolverine, you go too fast. Hey, Bitman 360, the fake influencer. Go check it out. It's on Indikin.com. So we have Wolverine X.
Yeah, he's got that what's that, the Buckazoids coin next to him.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Is that a Buckazoid? I need to learn more about that. Guys, I'm so bad. I want it to be so. I'm a mom in crypto, guys. I am a mother that would like to learn as much as I can. You ask, why is this woman talking about? Because I think I need to set the example. I think there's a lot of people like me out there, and I am your target audience. I come from the world of music, radio, television, and I know how they work in the old, like the old structure, how they work to connect with people. I am your target audience. If you reach me, you reach the world. And that's what we want, right? We want more than 1% or 3% of people around the world. So thank you so much.
Dude,
thank you so much for doing this, guys.
Buckazoids is I don't know how big you are. So I feel like a lot of women are into this. Like,
we are.
How big are you into conspiracy theories?
A lot. Are you kidding me? I'm Latina. I am Latina. I have to be like, I like conspiracy. I know. I can tell you.
I hope the rest of your day is clear because we're gonna be here for 6 more hours.
You know what? I have till like 1:30.
Is that an hour from now or 2 hours from now?
I don't know. No, it's like 4 hours, 3 hours from now.
Oh, okay, good.
That's 4:30 your time. I can be here. You know what? I just put you. I just like say, hold on, and we'll do a case, and then come back. I'm an interpreter, guys. I'm a court interpreter. So yeah, let's talk about conspiracy. I like this. I'm gonna get in so much trouble with my Indikins because I'm messing everything up. I'm sorry, guys. That's what I send people to the link so they can learn from the right source. What do you expect? I'm a mom that is dressing a cat that is Catwoman. I think I'm going to use this for the rest of my life, forever and ever. Go ahead. Okay, tell me about the conspiracy.
For Buckazoid, I had the guy on from Buckazoids like 4 or 5 weeks. So I have a show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where projects come on and chill it. And I'm going to totally butcher this, and I apologize. But
welcome to the club. Blame it on me.
The late 80s, early 90s, there was this computer game, and I forget what it was called, but in the game, it had like what he has above his head. It has a little rocket ship. It looks like a Bitcoin. And like the 2 or 3 people that had worked on those games all live within like a couple miles of each other. And one of them had the first transaction of Bitcoin like ever.
Oh, and wow.
It was
wow.
Like the people that worked on that game, we believe that they are the ones that created Bitcoin. And
wow, are those guy, like Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yeah, so there was this guy named
Buckazoid?
There's this guy named
Buckazoid? Wow.
So there was this guy named Satoshi Tajiri, not Satoshi Tajiri, that's like one of the founders of Pokemon. It's Satoshi whatever. And there was another guy named like Red Nakamoto. And obviously if you put those together, that's Satoshi Nakamoto. And then the third person that was there received like the first ever like transaction of Bitcoin, and they still have it. And it's crazy. So there's this guy named Josh Mandel. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay, so there's 2 Josh Mandel.
Sorry, Josh. I never heard of you.
So
I would like to know more about you.
There's one Josh Mandel that was the former state treasurer of Ohio. Mm-hmm. And that Josh Mandel, I love him. He's really cool. He's a good friend of mine. He's an Omi homie. He has Omi, the VeVe coin, and he made it so that people in Ohio could pay their taxes like in crypto. So he's like revolutionary. He actually was winning the Ohio State Senate race before Trump backed JD Vance. So in another world, he was not only senator, but he would also be like the new VP. Anyway, there's another Josh Mandel where at some point in like early 2024 or even late 2023, he predicted that Bitcoin would go to like 108 on a certain date, and it happened. And then
Just
he
like
predicted
Richard
like,
Hart did, our founder, the Hexagon
yeah,
Richard
so he
Hart.
would go in and he did the same thing on Bitcoin being like a certain thing in like May or like March or April, and it did. It went to like 70, whatever. So people think that he's like this time traveler because
I
it's
love
one
time
thing
travelers.
if you
I
predict
just
one
heard.
thing, it's kind of okay, like a Nostradamus, but multiple things on the exact same date. So he's a good friend of mine. Well, he's a friend. I would like to think we're good friends. I think he might just think we're
Bring him
acquaintances.
in. I want to ask him questions about my future for sure.
So we
Man,
follow each other and we've had a couple conversations. He doesn't want to come on like a live stream because he's afraid of like deep fakes with
of
AI.
course, of course.
But
That's what I use this.
he
Just kidding.
requoted my stream with the Buckazoids guy, and he said this is 100% true, and it got like 100,000 impressions, and I was like, oh my god, and this is the guy that people suspect is a time traveler, and I was like,
That's so
he's
funny that you mentioned this because there's a storyteller on Facebook. I can't remember, Stephanie Seo, I think her name is.
okay,
And she was talking about time travelers. She was telling the story about this guy who's they call it 2045, I think, 2040, 2045 or something like that. That was the name of the time traveler.
okay,
And he said that he was sent from the future in a commission to um from a group of people that sent him with $2 million each to buy Ethereum in 2018, because Ethereum in 2058 or 2045, something like that, and around like I think it was 2058, was going to reach like $1 million each. So
okay,
man, after I hear that, I went like, okay, let me get $30 of Ethereum, maybe. My great grandkids will be rich, right?
yeah,
So I I believe in all that stuff. I love it.
awesome.
I believe
Okay,
in all
so
that.
I'm going to take a picture of this
Bakuzoid.
and send it to I think Matt B is that. So anyway, Josh Mandel, he reposted this. It's got like 51,000
Oh
impressions on
wow.
his, and that's on the quote tweet. On the non-quote tweet, it's
God,
got
you're
like
so
another.
lucky. I don't even get like 5 likes on my things, and I do a lot of stuff. I don't know, guys. If you're there, just follow me. At least follow me so I can. I think I've been stuck on the. I think there's something wrong with my X account. It's impossible with all the crazy things that I do that it's not growing more. And I've been, I've done everything. So something is. If X is watching, something is going on with my account. Trust
Well,
me.
I'm gonna send this to Matt B in the
Are you gonna take
Buckazoids.
a picture? Let me share. Like you were
I
like,
did. I already did.
damn
It's
it.
I
Oh,
forget
like
what type. So I told like I shared my own post. I shared like Buckazoids that were going over it. 215
oh,
people
I love
watching.
that. Bakuzoid. I need to get Bakuzoid. So Bakuzoid, it's a crypto as well.
Yeah. So there,
It's
I
a
forget.
token. You see,
Yeah.
I'm sharing all this. This is the thing, guys. If we talk amongst only ourselves, people on the outside don't know what's going on, and that's my job. My job is to ask you the questions that people who's not into crypto will ask, even though they're like
Yeah.
silly, because they have to have this questions answered if we wanted to bring people in. And if parents are there, you guys have a very specific in VeVe and all of this, you guys have a very important thing, which is things that link parents with children, with youngsters. And that's something that we can connect. I can show my child collections or the Pokemon cards and things like that, and we can talk about that. It's something that family is very important. We need to nurture the friendship, family, that connection. And sometimes we cannot talk about the same music, but maybe we can talk about of the comic books. I was laughing. I wanted to show you a treasure that I found, guys.
Oh
Actually, it
yeah.
was my sister been me to it, but we were shopping at a garage sale, and she saw a box of comic books, and she got it for $40, and it had over like 300 comic books, all in I don't even know what this.
What
I don't even know
what
the
comics are they?
everything DC. It has Marvel, DC. It has this kind of comic books. I don't even know
So
what. Yeah, you
I
know,
love Wolverine.
but it has all of it. I think it has some Spider-Man. It has. I have at least 300 of these comic books, and I was going through them with my son, and he was like, "Let me have them," and I said, "No, you can. They're not even mine. I'm keeping them here." So I'm trying to steal them from my sister, but she won't. She's. Oh,
There's
look
my
at that. Oh man,
Wolverine
I'm
cosplay.
hungry now. It's lunchtime. You know
Yeah.
what? You shouldn't do this to a girl that doesn't have, a gentleman in her life. This is
Oh
like,
yeah.
are you
What?
teasing me? Are you teasing me, Randy?
Well,
You know
I
what you're
wasn't
doing?
before, but maybe now I will because
Maybe.
I know that
Look at
you're a big
that.
fan.
You're
So
dangerous. What the heck? Am I like, guys? I'm sorry. I should, girls. I'm retweeting this. I'm gonna take a picture of that with me drooling right here. And you got me. You see, guys, I'm so easy. He got me drunk
oh
on the
yeah.
first like 10 minutes. I'm not drunk, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
For me, I don't drink. So for me, having a shot is like
So
having 10.
so what part of Cali are you from?
LA, LA,
LA.
Los Angeles. I live very close to, hold on one second. I live
And
very, I think
do you
he's
have
stick up
a
there.
so you obviously you have kids, so obviously
Yes.
you
I'm,
oh,
s- I'm separated. I've been separated for probably 5 years, 6 years.
yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah, DJ, the girl has to do whatever. If I don't go out, if I go Vaughn's, I can't find a guy in Vaughn's at the supermarket. I have to find it here in the stream. And believe me, I get
Sure.
some DMs. Let me tell you something real.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
I
tell
get
me about
some
those because I get some as
I get
well, but you're a
yeah.
girl, so tell me about
Do
those.
you guys think you're the only ones getting like boob pictures? Girls get that kind of things too.
Yeah.
Not boobs, but other things. Excuse me.
You don't get a mixture? I feel like you probably get both.
I get, you know what? I like guys. I'm sorry. I have to break the news to you guys. I'm a guy's woman. I like men are so absolutely beautiful. And
My
there's so much I still have to do with men to move into the next. Never say never. My mom
yeah.
said never say never. But for me, it's like men are so absolutely beautiful, and I think it's, you know, I need to dedicate my life, the rest of my life to men. Um,
My there was a girl I used to date where she was into pretty much anything, but she had this thing where she was like, because I wanted to do like a,
I know that's every
multiple.
guy's dream. Tell me, this we're taking a
Well, I
different kind of
wanted,
stream today.
I like threesomes, and
Oh
I was
wow.
like, hey, would you ever do it? And she's like, listen, like I maybe for your birthday, but she was what's called strictly dickly, and she just didn't like girls at all. Which is so she was a little older.
I think I'll
In
get jealous.
the
Is she
past,
jealous?
so no, so I'm 34, but in the past 15 years, I've only dated three girls in their 20s. The rest have been 30s and 40s and now 50s. And it seems that only the nowadays, like maybe like 35 and younger, are kind of into it, and a lot of the older gals that I've dated are not. So a lot of the older gals are also strictly dickly, like yourself. And the a lot of the younger gals are like,
I
oh
mean,
yeah,
I'm between 35 and 28 and 100.
between 28 and 40.
28 and 100. Let's
Okay.
leave it like that. It's like, I have 7 lives. Like I'm a cat woman, so I cat woman.
And then there's I don't want to show her face. I can't show. So there's another girl that what are we talking about again?
We're talking about dating, guys. We're giving you a date. This is like dating crypto. It's so hard because you fall in love with this. Does it happen to you guys? You meet someone online and it's like everything you look, and it's hard to find people to talk about the same things we do. I have a hair. You know, I need a brain. I fall in love with the brain first.
Yeah.
That is me. I don't know if it's my age, if it's like, what I want now that I want. Now I'm in a point of my age and a state of my life that what I want is what I will get if I get it.
Yeah.
But it's not like, okay, I'll settle for this. That's not we'll fix it, or, it has time to grow. No, I want the whole package. My daddy, what happened? Come on. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of other conspiracies that we need to get to, but we need to definitely finish this
We'll talk
conversation
about the
first.
dating, guys. The stream. I'm going to do a stream with Randy in regards to dating and in the web, in the blockchain dating. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about conspiracy. I like that.
So there, well, we have to continue on with the dating one first. So there's Joe Rogan, I think, says it best, where he says that most men live quiet lives of desperation. And there was this one article I found like 3 days ago where this guy said he lost hundreds of pounds, meaning like dollars, because he's in Europe, because he thought that who he was talking to was Jennifer Aniston. So this is really only for like
catfish. I have a story about that too.
So this is only for like the 40 and above crowd. Guys, like there's no superstar or model that's going to be talking to you unless you have like this position of power. So from what I've learned, like when I was younger and hold on,
Naive? More innocent?
No, not naive. Like let me go back to
guys, catfish. I have a story about catfish. I'm Catwoman, so I can tell you.
I was and say let's go back.
Wow.
Back to the beginning.
Look at that. What tattoo is that? Wait, go back. Let me see that gun and that tattoo in your eye. Is that a
hang on 1
Pokemon?
second.
Oh my god.
So you could see the Pokeball and Donkey Kong.
Wow.
And so that is me.
That is so good. I love it.
But
I love
that is
it.
not.
Is that a Batman's t-shirt?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Batman.
Ooh.
Because I love that type of stuff.
Turned it into a weird stream, guys. I'm sorry. I have to take every opportunity that I get. I don't get many. many.
So yeah, you can see the
is that the girl?
The muscles. Well, no, that's my friend. So that's a little too much to get into. That's my military days.
With benefits. I've been there, done that.
So there's and that's from like years ago, but I have something that a bit more recent. Long story short,
please, and DM me.
Long story short, if you're somebody that is, so again, I get more women now that it's like a couple of my crypto wallets are public. They see me stream every day. There's 254 people here right now. I happen to get more women now where I'm in less of a good shape than I was in, and I'm trying to find
baby. So VeVe is the brain. Yeah. It's this woman. Don't go so much for the looks. The looks are great, but the better you look, the less, the more we have to work on ourselves. So if you don't look that perfect for us, it's like, okay, our chances go up a little bit, but it is this, the brain. Women right now are, we had too much time, in during lockdown to start like learning and looking and watching and doing a lot of things that we probably didn't have time. We just move too fast. So now it's a lot. The brain for me is the brain. For me is looks are good too if a man is taking care of himself, and it's I
should also mention I did date one teenager. She was
on you, which
she was
depending
19,
which
and
dude, She's legal. She's legal.
Yes.
In Finland, I think
I
16
have
is
other
the
pictures
age.
that I'm not going to show.
Was that you dressed as you when
Yeah,
you dressed up?
I was Deadpool.
Deadpool. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is I used to strip back in the day, and this is
No
me at a house show.
wonder. No wonder
Yeah.
you feel so comfortable. Look at that.
So,
Man, I want to prove a poll.
oh yeah.
Proof of dress like street pole. Proof of street pole, guys. I don't. That's another thing. I like first time in Bursley. Look at that. Where clubs? Just baby showers, bridal showers, or what? Tell me.
So it would be a lot of birthdays, and
Let me
then
see.
yeah,
Bridal
one.
showers are the wildest. If you want to get hooked up with a girl in the bathroom while you're changing, just go to a bridal shower. I'm sure you'll
Oh
find
yeah, same,
out. Am I
same.
right?
So there's there was a couple of times where I had to really like, but now, so even though,
I'll wash my clothing.
but now I get more women now because I think of, you know, again, back to that Modern Family reference, a little cashola, a little dangerous, a little, just a bit more mature. And obviously the car I drive now, the house I live in now, like it's just better than I was when I was, 26. Um,
But
I,
guess
I
what? When the people met you, they probably don't know. I don't know what kind of car you drive or what kind of house you have or your wallets or anything. It's your personality. And I want guys to be confident about that. We're not looking people like me, for example, which I'm a great candidate. We're not looking for someone to, you know, um, well, maybe I do. You're a billionaire there, just like rich. Call me. But anyway,
Thank you.
it's not the main thing. Woman, that's the thing. We're flexible. If we like
Yeah.
someone so much, he could be the trash collector, and we'll be like, oh my God, he's so good. He's so great. Look at those abs. Look at those guns. It's not so much. I'm gonna talk serious right now. It's
Yeah.
not so much. And guys, you need to approach a woman. Space Quest warrior Natoshi
Yeah.
Sakamoto.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's who he's talking about. Satoshi Useka and Roddy Nakamoto. Anyway, keep going with
wow.
what you were saying.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
we
but I'm telling you, you guys, I got, I play around. Everybody knows my story online, and I think I've got maybe two DMs only approaching me as, like, hey, what's up with you? Why? Be more open. If you like someone, just like take a shot, guys. Take a shot. The same with girls. If you like someone, just like take a shot.
Okay,
What can you
let's
lose?
take a shot. Let me take a shot here. What would it take to get you to come to Ohio for a couple days?
You know what? It's your lucky day.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going on vacation to Ohio in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
My niece
So
lives in Ohio. We'll go have. I'll invite you to have some.
we have a pool
Some.
table down here. There's Dashi. There's a hyperbaric oxygen
I
chamber.
need
There's a
that. I definitely need hyperbaric. Michael
Yeah,
Jackson all the way. I
yeah.
need a hyper. I'm
I
going
have all
to
the toys.
because of the hyperbaric. Would you have what?
I have all the toys.
Oh, what kind of toys? Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's
the
right. You
oxygen
see
chamber
how I
is
can
probably
make
the
him?
most
I can
expensive
make you
toy.
nervous, huh? I can make a guy nervous with questions.
I
Then they put me again. Then I go in person and I'm against the wall, man. I'll be like, oh, like in the corner, meow, meow, meow.
back in
I'll
the
go
so
visit you. We'll stream from the pool table.
we can stream from
You'll be saying,
the
what,
the
what is
little
your what
pond I
is
have.
your pet's name or your character?
Oh, Dashi.
Odashi. You
Yeah,
say, hello, Dashi. Hello, Georgia. The corner on the other.
we'll have
I'll be
him.
standing on the other corner, guys, behind him, right there, behind
Of
the other
course.
shoulder.
So we'll have the we'll definitely do that. We'll there's a Lifetime Fitness right next to me where we can go in a
Wow,
sauna, we can go work out, and then
I need that.
um I mean, if you're only in for a couple days, I mean, I would like to take you out some places, but I feel like we
Wow,
might
I would
not
love
have the
that.
chance to go out
I would
because
love that.
we'll be busy doing other stuff.
I'll
Um,
be. Well, he'll be showing me his collector cards. Come here, Georgia. Come to
yes.
the vault. Let me show you the. Let me show you the vault. Do you see this Pokemon ball? Do you see this other Pokemon? Show me your Pokemon ball. I want to see your Pokemon balls, please.
I will show you everything. I completely lost my.
I
Oh
got in
God, where'd it
trouble.
go? My jacket is upside down now.
See,
All
I
right,
he's
so I
all nervous.
understand
I'll
what you
make
said.
them nervous, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do the tour de Georgia. I'm starting in Ohio, and
Yeah.
I'm going to end up in somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
taking
we
a
start
whole
here in a couple weeks. Let me know. I'll be here.
yes. Seriously, I'm
And
going to Ohio. I don't even know what part of Ohio, but
well, we'll fly you over here, or I'll drive and pick you up. Either way, it'll
oh,
be
that's so
fun.
nice.
And
First class,
so
please. Just
so I
kidding.
know you have the cat, so I'll give you a nice special. I'll give you a special welcome because you have the cat
Wow, I
token.
like that. I
Yeah.
like you guys. You hear? I had to come to other communities for someone to give me the special treatment. What's that, guys? What's that? You see, Womanite? Just sorry. What do you say? What do you say? Bad things or good thing about me?
She's a Hexican. Oh, it's
Yes,
because you have the
This
hex.
is
Yes, yes.
yes. I have the hex logo. Let me tell you. I am. This is the thing. When I started in, I wasn't doing option trading in the stock market, and excuse me, I got nervous. The teacher told us about crypto, and he said crypto is bad. Don't even go in there, this and that. And I said, you know what? It's bad. I have to go in there. Don't go in there. What just Georgia has to do? She has to go in there. But I went to a friend of mine, and he said, I'm going to teach you about crypto, but I'm only going to teach you about hex. And I met
Yeah.
Richard Hart, the founder, which I don't care what people say. I don't care what people do, until the guy comes back and, streams. And he's doing a lot of like uh, posting on his channel. But anyway, there's something going on. I'm not going to tell you about this. You can go Google it. Google it.
Okay.
And but I really love the community. At the beginning, the community was so welcoming and it was so warm, and I learned a lot. People is very open to teach you about crypto, and like, if you check the story of Bitcoin, Bitcoin went like this, like this. It went up and down. It went from like $128 to like $2. Crypto is like that. It goes up and down. I'm sure VeVe or any of the tokens, DCAT, daCAT, a lot of the tokens go up and down. Um, so I started to learn about hex, and my first token was in crypto was no, it wasn't hex, it was Doge. I
Okay.
invested I made money in Doge, guys.
Good.
I
Do you
did
still
not
have
know
them?
how to use crypto.com or how to buy tokens. So I say I'm gonna buy the cheapest one. So if I lose my, $20, I invested $20 first. Who cares? I lost them. And then, I bought $20. I say, okay, I can do this. And I put in another $200. And that investment, I got it very, very cheap, and it went up, up, up. And because my background is in marketing and PR, when I saw I ride the price all the way to 74 cents, 72, 74 cents.
Yeah.
When I saw Elon Musk do the Saturday Night Live, and I didn't see the reaction from the crowd that it was supposed to have, I said, you know what, I'm just going to take everything. So I took everything that I earned, sold it all, and moved it into Hex. So that was my investment into Hex.
Okay.
It's put away. It's all my crypto investments are for my kids. It's not for me, guys. Everything that I do, and I'm buying tokens and I'm keeping them on their wallet. If they're worth, millions, let it be. If they're worth nothing, okay, they have a souvenir. So
Yeah.
because the money that I am investing into crypto is not big backs. It's something that, I will put in there. If one of the 20 tokens that I own, makes a little bit of money, good for them. And I told my kids, if you don't get along, you're not going to get anything, because I will not share, the password, the C phrases that both have half on half. And it's very well documented, on living wills and things like that. So I don't have much, but you never know, you know. Imagine those people in 208, someone approached my ex-husband and told him, "You want to invest in something called Bitcoin?" And he came to me in 209, 209. And because my son was born, and he said, let's do $2,000 in this. And I say, no. And I said, no, we need diapers and we need milk. And look at if I would have paid attention to that. So now I pay attention to everything. And I think that we should all work together. It doesn't matter which community you represent or which token you like. We like crypto. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm going into different communities and I'm learning about you guys, about what you guys have to, bring to the table, because everything is Web3, everything is blockchain technology. And that's what I'm in for, to learn as much as I can to pass it on to my kids.
Preach. That's very good. And so how has your mindset changed from when it was X amount of years ago versus being a new mom versus being now a mom of, I think you said one of your sons is like a teenager?
Yeah, I have two. I have a son 16 and a daughter 15.
And how does that, do you have to ever hide yourself? Do you have to ever say, okay, my true self has to be in the background while my mother self has to be in the front? Or is it just like, hey, this is how you learn and it's got to be for my true self?
You know what? That was before. I had the father of the children is a fantastic man. I have nothing to say about him as a man, but we were not. I guess we grew apart. We have different goals, different desires, and we grew apart. And I was trying to help him to be the person he wanted to be, and I put myself on the back burner. I could not do this. Doing this before was not an option, was not something that I could do. Not because of the criticism on the other side, like you guys, because it fits me. It gives me more energy, whatever good feedback or bad feedback. But having it at home was very hard, so I put myself on the back burner. I actually, now that you say this, I was working for Univision Radio, and I managed the network for for the top radio show in the United States, regardless of language. And when I had my children, I said, you know what, working 15, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week is not something that I would like to do, because it will take away time from my kids. So one day out of the blues, I said, you know what, fantastic. I left my work. I say, thank you very much. If it was for me, I will come back. But hey, if it's for me, I will come back. If it's not, at least I did what it was the right thing. So I left my career, I quit, and I became, I say, what can I do? What else can I do that doesn't require so much time? I want to be home by 5 o'clock, feeding my kids. And I want to be able to go away for the weekends with them, or take them to the park anytime, or take time off, to take them to the doctor, which I couldn't, because when you do live radio, it's like breaking news and you're up, you're gone. You have to be dedicate time. So yes, I left my career and I became a mom of two. I had back-to-back kids. I had very, very difficult pregnancies with both of them. I was in bed rest for 3 months for each one. That's another story. That's like the real Georgia story. And that's what I did. I left everything for my children. And now that my children are older, after I separated, I started showing them, who mom was really, what I did. There's no way for me to tell them what I did in the past. Guys, I've done incredible things. I worked for the Universal Concerts, Universal Amphitheater, which was a venue for music. I've seen every single big artist in the world. And when the kids, now my kids come to me and they show me, oh, look, mom, this is a Michael Jackson song. It's so nice, and this and that. And I'm like thinking on the back of my head, I was like, God, I used to hang out with Michael Jackson, uh, and that, I can think of it, but I cannot show them because I have no proof of all that. So now it's like we are growing together. I don't want to be a helicopter mom. I think it's time for me to start letting them, get away from, like, step away from me and not being so much like a hands-on mom, and make sure the rest of my life is something that I'm going to be treasuring. I want to have good memories. It's never late to start having a good time, guys, no matter how old you are, no matter what your situation is. And, sometimes you just have to be yourself. And when you stop thinking about what other people think, and when you stop acting just to please other people, that's when you start having fun. Um, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what Catwoman has to say. This is what I'm here streaming with my friend Randy and dressed as Catwoman.
I believe Steppenwolf said it best, where he said, "It's never too late to start all over again."
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
speaking of starting over, there's some things in this world that challenge your view of the world.
Hmm.
And we're talking about conspiracies before. I have to
Yes,
utilize the latrine. So I'm going to ask you something, and
yes.
it will hopefully give you
Oh
60
God,
to
I can
120
talk.
seconds of
You're gonna give
content.
me you're gonna hand over your stream. Oh my good. I promise I won't play music.
Am I
I promise
Walter
I won't
White
say
in
anything.
2010?
And
Because you're
you know what?
goddamn right.
Is that a you know what? Leave the mic on
But,
so we can hear when you're done. I'm just kidding. Um
well, the volume's on max. So what got you into conspiracy theories? What's your favorite one? Why did you do it? How was your reaction when you tried to tell other people? And hopefully that gives you a good 1 to 2 minute content while I utilize the latrine. And I will be listening.
all right, all right. Don't rush. I can talk. I can lower the pace of my voice and make you fall asleep. You guys are gonna fall asleep. Anyway, conspiracy theory. Oh my goodness, there's so many. I wasn't ready for this, but we, the people in crypto, we live on a conspiracy theory. We have founders that disappear, founders that supposedly are not the same, person that we see. We have founders that are puppets. We have founders that are puppeteers. Everything that we live in is a conspiracy theory. Um, I don't know much. It's for me, it's gossip. Sometimes I talk about conspiracy. I can't even pronounce that word, and I think about gossip. I think that's when everything started. It's something probably the most simple explanation. And then you have people calling, did you hear about this? Did you hear about Randy? Real Randy Chavez? You know, um, he's not real. I don't know. I don't know any conspiracy theories besides what you just said. I have a conspiracy. I think conspiracies are gossiping. That's how they become bigger, and most likely is something a lot of the people utilize as propaganda. I think a lot of people create theories of conspiracy because they want to promote something, or they want to guide the audience into it. Everything is propaganda. Everything that I see has to do with, how do we convince, or how do we insert this idea on people's mind? And that's been going on forever. So I don't know. I wasn't ready. I wasn't even thinking about any like conspiracy theory. I've been watching a lot of K dramas, guys. What do you expect from me? I can tell you the conspiracy theory about, the latest drama that I watched, but
Yeah, no. So there was if anyone, I assume most people here
that's what I
can
like.
remember.
Smart guys, they can talk about it. And I'm like, okay, sure. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I assume most people here remember the 90s where internet kind of sucked. It took forever for dial up, and you're mostly just playing
When they
outside.
when they used to dial it.
And
I
and the
do
internet was
remember.
kind of like something you did on like a rainy day if nobody came over to watch movies or play video games, if everyone had like company going over, and which I have an idea for like $1 billion app, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, I
Um,
like apps.
so great. So it's something where in the 90s and early 2000s you just kind of did when there was really nothing else going on. And I saw this video called just like 9/11 coincidences. And it's like, oh, okay, the only two planes to ever hit towers and ever do this happened on the exact same day in the exact same way. It was weird coincidence. Like, you know what? That is a weird coincidences. And then I found documentary Loose Change, and I was like, so this giant fireball, like clearly there's video evidence of planes going into the towers, but then like somehow the passports of the people that were there like survived that fireball. I was like, all right, this is really weird. And then I started going into other things, like the official 9/11 Commission report came out, and then it came like, okay, it completely did not talk about Building 7, which is the third building to fall that day, and it completely dismissed a couple of things. I was like, there's a lot of these things that are really incomplete. And I started getting into like the JFK assassination, a bunch of the things that the government had kind of like lied about. And then there's this one woman named Emma Goldman that said, we're never going to see any change from the top down. It's going to come from the bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into the military in 2012, and I was just like, hey, we're gonna change things. Like, I'm gonna find out some stuff, and we're gonna see what's really going on. And then I saw like the government's just run by a bunch of idiots, and I was like, there's people are giving the government way too much credit about this, and there's no way they maybe some people coordinate it. What's your thoughts on like the major conspiracy theories, like the moon landing, like 9/11? Like what are some things that you think has either happened or has not happened and the government has covered up?
Well, I read a book. It was called The Committee of the 300. You know, the
Okay.
300 most powerful families that control the world. And I think I don't think, I know it's all about money. It's all about money. And it's all about power. Um, Money brings power. Power brings power.
Mhm.
So I think everything and most of the things, not everything, but most of the things are premeditated. They're they're staged to get something out of it, to get money. You know, war, it has to happen. It has to happen because we get the whomever is involved in it gets, we the people get affected, but most of the people get rich out of it. You know, war,
So why does war have to
weapons.
happen?
What is it? It doesn't have to happen, but unfortunately, because they need money to get power, to get more power. Power brings power, and if they have the money, they have the power. I think it's all about money. I think everything regarding like war and getting rid of people who have ideas that are different, that differed from the ideas of the people on, you know, that have the power. It's it's it is what's happening. For example, with, you know, with the 9/11, I have to be very respectful talking about. I have to be very respectful talking about this. I when I don't know much about something, I am very conscious, and I will never disrespect the families of all the people that we lost, because that's all I care for. You know, I don't have much power to control the people that are in charge of this, of the bad things happening. But I have the only thing that I can do at this time, maybe if I was younger, if I will go into politics, or if I will go into other parts of where the power is at, maybe I would have done something different. I was in communications, and I know the power of media. And I got, one of the reasons what I got out of there is because I know how manipulates the crowds. You know, we work in Latino and Hispanic, you know, Spanish speaking audiences, and we can control votes, and that gives people power. So I did many things that I'm not. It was my job. I'm not proud of. And the way that I got away from it, or got to feel a little bit better, is, you know, in my career created someone or something, and then it became a big monster, and I was able to stop that monster from because I'm speaking nonsense right now because I don't want to go into detail. This is not the right place to talk about this. Maybe in another time. But I wanted to be proud of things that I do. And at this time of my age, if I can be a goofball and make someone pay attention to me because I'm wearing a costume, and then direct them to someone like you that is teaching, or some of the other people that I stream with that are teaching something positive, I do that. That's what I'm doing right now. Um, I don't even know what the question was, but
I
yeah,
forget too. I'm
conspiracy. Me
very
too.
tipsy
I'm
right now.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
So
I'm not ready for
I do have
this.
a follow up. So from what I try to teach is just my my mostly just how to talk to people and how to see how, like, so there's this guy called Sanjay, or he's called Mr. MC1. His name is Sanjay, and he invested in my channel a year ago because I tend to ask, like everyone that interviews like a CEO will be like, hey, what's your balance sheet look like? What's your P&L? What's your plans for the future?
Hmm.
But there's very few people that ask, like, how's your relationship with your children? And
Yes.
how's your relationship with your parents and immediate family, and what is love? And you just very rarely get the questions of what is human. So even though I talk about my experiences in business and how made a lot of this money, how I made a lot of this capital, how I got to where I am in life. But I also love Albert Einstein once said the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. And I want to ask questions, like, for someone that's been, again, as influential as you, as someone that has lived a couple of lives. And there's a scene in X-Men 2 called X2 United, where at the end of it, they kind of gather in the White House, in the president's like room, and they say like, hey, we're here and we are willing to work with you, but if you continue to attack us, we will respond in kind. We'll be watching. So my question is, if aliens that are anywhere from a type 1 to a type 3 civilization were to come in, and you happen to be lucky enough to be the person that they make contact with first, and they asked, who is your leader? Who is the smartest person? Who is the one that is going to be the most positive outcome if we talk to, as opposed to someone that'd be most negative? Who would you go in and reference them to? Would you reference them to the president? Would it be to the
No,
previous
no,
administration? So,
no.
like, who would it be? Would it be Joe Rogan? Like, let me know.
That's a great question. First of all, just so you know, guys, when I was very young, I was 9 years old when I was in Argentina. I, this is gonna get me like the guaco list. I saw a UFO.
Tell me about all of this. Tell me every detail.
Every detail. Okay, it was carnival, it was summer, and my mother, my sister, my best friend, which lived across the street, and his sister, we were all coming back from a party. And we were about to cross the railroads. And all of a sudden, there was this humongous, huge ball of color. That's what I like the logo, the Hex logo so much, because it looks like the colors that I've seen. It was like purple, orange. It had a lot of colors. It was huge. It was hovering above us. And I remember my mom told me, don't get out of the car. Just stay inside the car. Just like, go inside in the back of, I was sitting on the back of the car. Go under the seats, like hide in between the seats. And I was like, I want to see this thing. So I got out and I, was looking at it. It was hovering on top of us. And all of a sudden, just like went like, shh, it disappeared. It was like a big light, like a round big light on top of us, and it
When it
disappeared.
disappeared, did it like shoot up? Did it
Shoot
completely
up,
disappear?
shoot up, shoot up. It was like a light that fades. That's what it was like. And Indikin was like, "Oh my God, George is crazy." I'm sorry, guys. I have to be honest. I have to be myself. So we were not the only people that saw that. a lot of people, like everybody was seeing it because it was summer in Argentina. In summer, what you do, you'd sit down outside your door and just sit on a chair talking to the neighbors until hours of the night. This was around probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was it. That was my first. That's what I tell you. I believe there's something. Thank you so much. I believe there's something beyond what we see here. I think we're all like little worms inside a tube, and they're, if we are advancing, if we were not, if we had cable, like court phones a couple years ago, and now
Yeah.
we have cell phones that can do everything, don't you think that in a couple of hundred of years ahead of us, they're not going to be people coming back to the past and doing things? I don't think they want to. I don't think they reveal so much to us because they don't want to scare humanity. And if they scare humanity now, it will not be this. It will not have the same course to get to where they're at. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. It's
That
like,
is. I do
yeah,
have a video to show, and I want to know if this is similar to what you saw.
wow,
It's this light
uh-huh,
coming down, and then as soon as it touches down to the ground, it stays there for a couple of seconds,
exactly like that. And it was hovering, and it was not
and then
white; it
it
was colored.
shoots up.
Yep.
Like you saw it all right, so that is a UFO that touched down on Jerusalem like 15 years ago, and people were wondering why did it touch down on the most like historic site in the history of humanity. Is that exactly what you saw as well?
Yeah, that was it. It just remained above us, and then just took off. And it was not white. It was colored. It had purple. I remember purple and orange. I remember those two colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. It was a big light on. It was right on top of us. Right on top of us, and it seemed very close. It was huge, but yeah,
So
yeah.
I love the idea of aliens. In my comic that I'm writing for daCAT, it is going to be a multiverse story. It's not gonna show up for the first couple of comic books, but towards the third and fourth, people will see it. I love
Wow,
that type of stuff.
me too. I
How
love
do you
that.
feel
Roswell. Let's go
about
to Roswell. Let's go to Roswell. Let's go to Roswell. Let's go to Area 51. I will park. I will go. I want to go eat and get the t-shirts with the aliens. Let's go for it. There was not too long ago, they had a big event that everybody showed up. I couldn't go. I was working.
2019?
Something like that. Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
showed up and everybody like did camping outside, and it's very close by. It should take one day, and just drive down there just for fun.
I so I have 2
Streaming from Area
experiences
51.
I have 2 experiences with that. In 2017, a girl I was dating, this girl Amber,
Damn, you're making me
she
jealous.
went to Vegas, and um I was not like with her, and she didn't answer for like a couple days, and I was like, bro, she cheating on me? Is she fucking someone else? But
She got married Britney Spears style in Vegas.
so it wasn't that. So she was one of the most. I'll see if I can find pictures of her. She was one of the most beautiful women that I think I've ever seen. If I can find
Let's
some,
see.
but so she had messaged me like 18 hours later, and she had said,
Oh, God. Am I gonna? I can't compete with that, man. What do you show me those pictures?
well, it was just to show you like kind of like who she was. Anyway, long story short, she
God.
was
Yeah,
she
she
was
was
in
beautiful.
this. She went to like Area 51, like
Yes,
right up
there's a
until they were to tell her to like
yeah, until
go
they
back.
tell her stop or we'll shoot you. Something like
Yeah.
that.
So long story short, she had a flat tire. She was maybe a couple hundred yards in front of that sign that says like, if you come here this way, well, lethal force can be used.
Will
And she
laser
like,
you and destroy you.
yeah, like she couldn't get like the tire undone. Her cell phone died, and long story short, like a couple days later, she's like, "Hey, I'm fine now." Like she explained what happened. But in 2019, you had a lot of people that, so I had a couple of friends that were stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas that were very close to Area
Mhm.
51. And we had decided to camp out on like the rocks that were right next to like the entrance, and we were ready to watch people get fucked. We were ready to watch people get destroyed. And then it like there was a bunch of people there. There was maybe a couple hundred people. It wasn't a lot of the invade Area 51 memes, and they just like they didn't do anything. They didn't. I honestly believe that
I don't think they
whether
have anything there. I think it's a decoy. That's a story. I think they have that place as like here's where the aliens are at, here with all the mysterious, and they're like probably they're next door to me, and right here at the park. I think that's a complete decoy of where they really. Do you think they're gonna advertise where they have all the aliens and things like that? Or technology from the future or from outer space? I don't think so. I think that's just a decoy for people to go and take pictures. So I'm outside Area 51. What do you think about that?
I think that there's people that probably have this idea of, so in the military, in order to be stationed there, you needed to have, so there's secret, there's top secret, and there's Yankee White as far as security clearances. And
What do you call the black man? They come with a thing and they make you forget about this. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna blackmail you and forget about this stream.
oh, well, I hope you don't forget about this
No,
stream
I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't ready for
because
this
I
smart
have to show
questions.
you, I have to show
But
you the beast within, and I
do I
have
have
to.
to put
Well, we
hold on
have to
one
get you to
second?
Ohio in a couple. So what
Dude,
dates are you
dude,
coming to Ohio?
excuse me. Look at
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Which girl has like El Santo mask on her drawer behind her? Not many
The
girls do this. You
the
see?
one that likes Bane, the one that
That's
likes.
nice.
So
That's nice.
what dates are you coming to Ohio?
I think I'm coming after the 28th of this month. I have
Okay,
vacation
so
after the 28th.
all right, so
So
we will get you towards my place of residence on that week. On the
okay.
I'll put it
I'll
in my
be in Ohio.
calendar.
I'll leave my kids. It's a family trip. I'm taking my kids to meet the family. So my niece
Okay,
lives
so
in Ohio. She's been living in Ohio for a long time.
all right, so
I've
we'll
never been
have
there.
you come in on that time.
Guys,
Anyway,
I was not abducted by aliens. I might have been abducted by a real Randy Chavez. If you don't find me,
don't say that.
this this he's gonna take me to see his Pokemon balls at the at the at the dungeon.
Well,
Come here.
we will
Come
talk
here.
off.
Do you know that we have dungeons in Ohio? Come see the what do they call the dungeon? No, they don't call it dungeon. What do you call it in Ohio because of the weather? You guys have like under the houses, it has like playrooms and things like that. What does it call it?
Basements?
Basements. There we go.
Yeah, so I'm in the basement right
That's
now.
exactly what I was
Like
talking about.
I can
We
show
have
you the pool table and the
wow.
artwork and the
That's about a 6
little
foot pool
bar
table,
workout room.
7 foot pool table, 7 foot.
Uh, it's pretty large, yeah.
Yeah.
And then honestly,
Imagine.
Dashi's pretty big. Let me go in and show you how tall Dashi is. And
Oh,
Dashi,
let's
it
see.
took me a long time to be able to go in and
I play pool, by the way. I'm a good pool player. Look
so
at that.
I'm
That
putting
just
Dashi here.
is right to your hips. Wow. Well, tell me the story about Dashi. Is that your good luck charm girl? What
Yeah,
is
so there's it
she's an
happened in
Egyptian? She's an Egyptian statue?
he is a
Or he? Okay, he.
he is a statue of this guy that had he was there's this place called Lloyd's in New York City. And have you ever seen Storage Wars?
Yes. Yes. With Buddy?
Yeah. So long
Yeah,
story
I
short,
do.
my this girl Lilith that we had were friends. Um with some benefits.
Yeah,
We had
sure.
gone to this
Sure,
place
I have some of those too.
we had gone to
I
this
wish I had
place.
more though.
Well, you're about to get one in Ohio, so we're
Jesus
gonna be.
Christ. I'm going
Yeah.
I'm going like interstate, guys.
Yep,
There's nothing in
100%.
California. All my friends, all the guys that I like live far away. At least,
Well,
5,000
now you'll
miles
be really
away.
close, and
Damn, I
I'll
have
be
to
able
like
to take care of you for a couple days.
5 hour flight to 15-hour flight. That's I have to
Oh, I'll make sure you're well rested. Anyway,
Jesus.
we went to this place called Lloyd's, and there was this dog statue
Oh,
called Dashi,
nice.
and it was
Love
this.
it.
What they did was anyone that had died that didn't have any family, they bought the estate, and they would get all of the collectibles and all of the
I
stuff
thought you were
from.
gonna say everyone who died didn't have any family. They would put all the ashes inside Dashi. I was like, I
No,
thought you were gonna go with that.
no,
I was like,
not at all.
no, there's not an ash holder. I thought you were gonna say, well,
No,
everybody
nothing like that. Oh my God,
turn it into they
whew.
turn it into a statue. I'm sorry. Go
So
ahead. The state, yes, the state.
everything in this store was like $30,000 or more, but
Jesus
this guy
Lord.
had Dashi at like $15,000, and I was looking. I was like, "This is so cool." So Dashi has diamond eyes and a diamond necklace, and that's where some of the value came from. But most
Wow.
a lot of the value
Is it
came from the fact
removable?
that you could, but I did not want to
If you can,
defile Dashi in that way.
would you think they would fit here?
They could, but listen,
I swear.
there has been many a girl like that has not happened. Like, no, it's too late. The
It's all
window
the
has
first.
closed for
You've
that.
never seen a girl like this, man. I'll be like stripping Dashi off his diamonds. Come here, baby.
Well, maybe we'll have to hide Dashi when you come in, and we'll have only supervised visits
I have my own. I have my own.
because well, we can do a bunch of things.
Security, get this walk out of here. This California
You
girls.
girls, undeniable. Oh, dude, I love Katy Perry.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry.
So there's
I will make you laugh for sure. That's for sure.
I can't wait. I will make you some good food. We can order some good food. There's a ton of places around here that are super fun. They're super
You know what I've
exciting.
heard they don't have in Ohio? They don't have good tacos in there. I'll cook tacos for you. They don't have Mexican tacos.
You're right. Ohio is not a good place for Mexican food.
I thought about this because I thought about opening a business in Ohio. Let's open a taco stand. Let's take all
there are
the
some places that are like there's some good food here, but I'm from New York and there's no delis here.
falafel.
There's no bagel places that are good. The
Oh
Chinese
no,
food
man.
is like,
Oh, we can cook. We can
Oh,
cook.
okay. Do not make me fall in love with you before you get here, because it'll.
You know what? I have this thing for men. They fall in love right before they met me, and after they met me, it's like that's what I keep the mystery.
Yeah.
This is it. That's it. I keep the mystery. A lot of people have met me in person. Yes. I'm not as fit as your friend Ashley, whatever her name was.
Oh, Amber. So
Amber.
no one was. She was crazy. No one was.
Yeah. No, I'm going to the gym though. I'm going every day. No, I'm like 5 days a week. I have a.
So again, I've mostly dated women in their 30s and 40s and sometimes 50s. So I do not.
I'm 75.
It's not that I'm not attracted. Like if it's a beautiful girl, sure. But as far as actually dating and as far as being more than a one-time thing, it's mostly been 30s, 40s, and 50s. Again, I've only dated or been with 3 girls in their 20s that have been there for more than a couple of weeks. The most part, they have not.
You need to, guys, just go for the little bit, older girls.
Yeah.
We're wiser. We don't budge.
Exactly. So the younger girls
we don't ask. We enjoy. We don't ask questions. It's like, hey, sure, just go. You want to go watch porno? Just go watch. Just go watch it. You're gonna see this girl in the club. Just go for it, honey.
I want to tell you.
Happy. I want you to be so happy. Just like Leave me
Well, there's
alone.
two
Flash get
girls.
his diamonds.
There's a 1-2 combo of who got me into older girls. So when I was 19, this was 2010. My friend Tyler, who was still in high school at the time, he had this graduation party, and his aunt was there, and
I bet
I
he was
I
there.
I love gaming. I love
Yeah.
Nintendo, and I love all that jazz.
And I'm bringing my Princess Peach's costume to your
Oh
house.
my god!
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll be in
I'm
Princess.
gonna pay.
I'll get,
Wait, please bring that. I will pay for everything if you bring that
no,
Princess
you don't
Peach
have to
costume.
pay for anything. I have
No,
everything. I
I'll pay
have
for it. Like
everything.
I will.
Buy me
Yeah,
a jar of peach. I did the peach
that's
contest. You
fine.
saw me.
I
You
will
saw me.
whatever you want.
I'll do.
That money cost is no object. Just bring
Damn
that
it.
costume.
Guys, do you listen to this guy? This is the way you talk to a girl. Just like, this is the way you talk to a girl. I was like, all right, let's split this. Let me take you to a
Yeah,
Mexican
I will
restaurant and
take you
split the
anywhere you
burrito
want.
price.
That
No.
we're gonna drop your kids off at wherever,
Yes.
and then we're gonna
Drop them
drive
off.
back to.
I'm gonna forget about them. Here's your
Yep,
passport. Here's your ID. Here's your
yep,
DoorDash.
yep.
Oh, all
In fact,
access
what we'll do
DoorDash.
is we'll give them a bunch of money at the airport so they can get an
Sure.
Uber, and then we're gonna take a step. We're gonna take our car. So
I'm gonna go to my niece. I was like, you wanted to meet you wanted to see your nephew and your niece for like 5 years. They're all yours.
yeah,
Thank you, Omar. Thank you so much.
we love Omar. Omar's the best. So what
I don't
what
even
will
know what's
happen is
going on,
that
and I'm on a date. I'm on a virtual
yeah,
date
we
right now,
are.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
Is
in
there anyone
2010,
watching? Is there anyone watching?
there's 331 people watching. So
Really?
there's a good. I'll
Really,
take a
guys?
picture
Should
and
I
I'll
put
send
my
it to you.
mask on again just to like in case this
If
is
you
new
want, yeah,
people?
take the mask,
Guys,
put the mask on, and then let me
I
go and.
hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Okay, I took a
There you go.
picture, and I look a little derpy in the picture, but I don't care. I'll send it to you.
Okay, you can take another one.
No, it's too late. I already
What do
took
you
this one.
want?
I
You would
value
like
time
one, you
more
would
than
like
anything.
this.
It's all right. The picture's done. It's done.
I
It's
like
gone.
Rolling Stones, guys. I have
I
this
sent it to
tree
your
mark.
ex.
I have this tree mark, which is like
So anyway,
Hey
in
Omar.
2010,
Yes.
he had this graduation party, and his
Taylor.
aunt was
Taylor.
Tyler. He was in.
Tyler.
So he graduated. This is a graduation party. His aunt was not in anything special. She was in jeans and a sweatshirt, but she had a beer next to her, and she was playing the original like Super Mario Brothers. And
Cougar.
she
Cougar
and
101,
she
guys.
yeah.
Just
So
grab
she was
control.
like.
Go ahead. Go for it.
So when I was like 19, she was like. So this is the first one. She was like 34, 36, something like that, and it was just so hot seeing like a girl like beat the original Super Mario Brothers with a beer in front of her. And so she happened to like the younger guys, and we had gone out on a couple dates, and Tyler did not like that.
Ooh.
So he like
Those are my aunt. Don't
yeah,
worry,
he
I
put
have
like
no nephews. Like
so he
that.
put the friendship on the line, and I was like, okay, we'll stop. But
Yeah,
then
sure. Uh-huh.
like
Yeah,
like
sure.
like 3 months later, I was in a new apartment, and this kid named David. The reason I met him was because my other friend like knew him, and his mom had an extra room. So I was like, okay, so I'm 19, it's 2010. This kid was in like a band, and one of his bandmates had this girlfriend named Megan, who I'm amazing friends with to this day. I love her. She's great. She married one of my best friends, Nick.
Another. It's like 5
Well,
girls that he
no,
mentioned,
it
guys.
wasn't.
I'm not
Well,
jealous, by
she
the way.
she did like there was a honestly there was a bunch of people that liked me, but we'll go through that later.
Yes, I don't doubt it.
I I had said like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go to Taco Bell. Does anyone want to come?" Because I would go in and buy them stuff from the dollar store or whatever.
The ad
Because they
goes,
were like
Yo
16, I
quiero
was
Taco
19.
Bell.
Yeah, so it was this girl Megan that was his bandmate's girlfriend, and her friend Alyssa that said, "Yeah, let's go to Taco Bell." So in in the in the middle of like on the way to there, it was like a 5 minute trip. I was like,
Enough time.
this girl Alyssa said like, my mom likes Taco Bell, and I was joking. I was like, is your mom single? And she was like, yeah, and she likes younger guys too.
Oh
And I was like,
Lord.
Oh yeah. So it
Score.
was 2010. I was 19.
Mama.
We get to Taco Bell and we do an immediate like turnaround, and we go to her house, and I introduce myself as like, my name is Randy Chavez. I used to be a boxer before I started like working all these jobs so I could pay because again 2010 in New York in
There
your own
was no
apartment.
crypto at that time, guys. There was no.
Yeah, no, it was
Prior
very
crypto.
it was very
Prior
hard.
crypto.
So she says like, "Oh, you have your own place? Like you're so young." And she like again, I was super. She loved me, and so we started. So she was
Yeah,
45.
baby, come to mama.
Yeah, so she was 45, and she's like, "Hey, she was like this district manager of this like chocolate shop, and she's like, you know what, like you should come over one day and let me make you dinner." And I was like, okay.
It's like
So
offering the dessert. Oh, I have
yeah,
dessert. I have chocolate. Let me show you.
so she would do this amazing
Mama
thing where
and the
like
chocolate factory.
she was Italian, she could really cook, and she had
Of
the
course.
spaghetti and meatballs, and she would do this thing where I would finish a beer and she would like take it away and bring me a fresh one, and I was like,
You
girl.
were man. She was like grooming you
Yeah,
from the
well, yeah,
moment she
so
said Taco Bell.
we dated for a couple of months, and this is where I fell in love with older women because there was no games. There was no like,
Oh,
oh, if you really loved me, you would do this. It was just like, hey,
yeah,
I
we don't have
want
time.
this.
We don't have time for that, guys. We don't have
Yeah.
time
So
to waste. We waste the few, like the 9.5 days that you have together. Just like, oh, do you love me? Tell me you love me. Yeah, we'd like to hear it, but doesn't
so she was
don't waste
so
time.
so this was 4 years ago. She was still pretty decent
Oh
looking.
wow, you like beautiful woman.
Well, 4 years ago she was 56. And so what we would do is we boinked for her 50th, we boinked for her 55th, and then for her 60th, she was with someone, and then she unfortunately
Younger
she's no
than you,
longer,
probably.
well, she's no longer with
You,
us.
oh, I'm
Uh
so sorry.
so
I'm so
so
sorry.
yeah, that, and she's like the third person that I've been with that has not made it this far in life.
Mhm.
Um but
Man,
but I
that's
will
not something
always
good to
remember
tell
her.
someone, who you're about to like, you want to take out on a date.
Yeah.
Guys, this man.
So anyway, like again, like she was 60 and I was ready to be like, okay, let's do for your 60th birthday, let's do this. And unfortunately she was with someone, and then it didn't happen. But so just so you know, like I am okay with, and I assume you're in your 40s, but even if you're 60, it doesn't matter. Like as long as you're an awesome person
I'm not
that
my
that
60.
doesn't play
Look
games.
at me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Look at me. I'm not in my 60s, guys. I'm not in my
Yeah,
60s.
no, I'm gonna guess
I'm about
38.
28, 38. Yeah, sure. 38 it
Okay,
is.
38. So
38.
um
Bingo.
let
Bingo. Bingo.
let me ask you one more question before we talk off camera.
Yes.
And the question would be, if there was a mic, like there's 342 people here right now. There's
Thank you,
not a
guys.
ton,
It's
but
great. It's more than I have 50 something on my channel. I can't believe it's too early for me.
let's say there was 500,000 people here.
Yes.
What would you say to the rest of the world about how you think they should behave, on how they should justify their conduct, defend their actions, pay for their misdeeds, or do you think that they should be welcomed unconditionally for the hell they've already endured? What do you say to the rest of the world?
Dear world, I think it is important to be ourselves. The only person that matters how you behave should be yourself. Um, always have limits. Make sure that whatever you do, I'm gonna get serious now.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I was talking to the rest of the world, I will tell them there's a time for everything. There's a time to be young and make mistakes.
Like the birds.
Enjoy.
A time
Mhm.
to be born, a
Yes.
time to love. Okay.
Enjoy that time. There's a time for everything. Um, you're not gonna be perfect. If you're younger and you are just starting your life, you're not going to be perfect. You're always going to be um sometimes rejecting what other people, older people tells you, people who has been through that road before. But guess what? The older you get, you're going to start laughing and you're going to be smiling because you're going to remember things that people tell you along the way. Um everything you do, just understand that has a consequence, negative or positive. So whatever your actions are, make sure that you're going to be okay with them. Just every time you do something, I tell my kids, every time you do something, you have to stop and think, okay, am I ready to deal with the consequences? Am I ready to accept what's coming my way? Because it's like a wave of energy, the energy goes out and comes back. So you have to be ready to accept whatever you are or whatever you do, whatever comes before. um so it is hard for me to tell someone how to live their life, what to do with their life. I have no right to tell them how they should do it. I think the best thing that I can do is to tell them, no matter what you do, I'll be here for you, to celebrate or to pick you up from the ground. I think that's what I will tell the world. Just make sure you have someone around that is going to be that person for you. Um, Consequences. Everything has a consequence, good or bad. Just make sure your actions you can deal with them. That's what I will tell them. I do this with my kids too. I try to give them the tools, but let them become the person that they are meant to be. I try not to shape them in a way that I would like to see them, because it will not be fair for them. It will not be
Yeah.
fair because, they might be, when I was younger, I was, you know, a certain way, and then I changed through the years. So I think that whatever I see now, I'm not going to reject what I see now, because in the future it might be completely different. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure they have, if you have children, just make sure they live their time, they live their lives according to the time. Don't try to shape them or try to influence, because when I tell them, I might be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? I can give you the tools, I can give you the knowledge that I have, but you're going to be on your own. My mom died and I was on my own, and I was able to continue and surviving because she taught me this way. She let me be. So I think we should not interfere with people's way of being. Just make sure they know that there are consequences to every action,
Yeah.
good or bad, and they have to learn. They have to deal with it. I can only be there for you, just to make sure that when you messed up, I'm there. Not to like tell you you messed up, because you already know. Just to be there to support. And that's what I do with all my friends too. I think I have I don't have many friends, but the ones that I have are real, they've been friends forever, because I'm not there reminding them of their mistakes. I think that is part also in anything, in a relationship and things like that. I think it's important to, dude, if you love someone, love them unconditionally. If you want to support someone, support them unconditionally. Um, and if you want to be a friend, be an unconditional friend. I think we need a lot more of that. People will be a lot happier if they all have someone that they can, you know, feel comfortable to go to. A lot of the people don't have anyone like that. And I want to be that person. I don't want to,
Mhm.
I want to make sure people don't feel lonely and have someone to talk to. That's it. I don't know if that was your question. Oh, God, 300 people out there. I'm sorry if I was not like this. That's what I hang out
353.
with smart guys, because they can talk smart and I can listen. And then I can be goofy just like that, just being
Well,
Catwoman.
353. But yeah, so again, we'll talk off camera in a little bit, but there's a lot to go over there. And I guess there's a bit of a difference between what you would do as yourself versus what what you would guide your kids to do as themselves. And what is that difference, and why do you think that difference exists?
Times have changed. What I was at their age is not the same as now. It's like when I see parents, and I think it's good to have, your beliefs or whatever. With my kids, for example, when I was growing up, I didn't even have a phone in the house.
Same.
I played outside on the. Someone was putting on, I think it was one of the posts that I saw on Facebook or here on X. Oh, kids in Sweden, whatever, they play in the dirt and they play with mud. And I'm like, dude, that was every day for me. I would be like out there jumping on the mud poles and enjoying life in a different way. I will leave my house at 10 o'clock in the morning. I come back at 10 o'clock at night and no one knew where I was at. But that was different times. This cannot happen right now. Or they tell
Yeah.
you, don't give your kids access to any electronics and don't let them play. Guess what? What it was in my time is not what they have now. If they don't know how to use technology, they won't, by the time they get to the real world, they have to. If they don't know how to use technology, they will be behind. They will be, someone else will be better than them. And I don't want them. I want them to have, access to what I didn't have, or
Yeah.
to live a different life. That's what I will. I cannot even make them live the same life that I did. I have to adjust to their time. That's the thing. They don't need to adjust to my time. I have to adjust to the time they're living in. So
Yeah.
that's what I will tell my kids.
So
Did I
in
answer your
that,
question?
one last question before we're
He's
done.
kind of drunk. He's gone, man. He's gone. He's drunk. He's
I
gonna end up on the table laying down. If you
I say I'm very gone because
already,
I've had all of the stuff. It's been 2 hours. I've
Jesus.
been drinking for like 3 hours. It's
You
only been two.
started at around 12. I know. You started
Yeah.
around 12,
Yeah,
like
I
something like
messaged
that.
you, and you. I thought at that point you would say like, "Yeah, I'm doing it too," but you did not. You didn't start until after we started.
Yeah. Well, no, I was working. I took a couple hours off from work, like, till I'm at a doctor's appointment. Dr. Randy.
It
Dr.
it
I
it
had to
seems
fill.
like the so I grew up in a place where I was adopted from Peru. So I was not a US citizen until like 1996, and it so I was pretty Americanized, and there was this kind of rule when I was growing up, like no girls, no dating, and that became like the forbidden fruit. And of course, I wanted that, and I was so now I'm a little bit of a slut. Um, how do you balance the fact that like, hey, here's what you actually should be doing, here's what you should not be doing, but in the middle, it's like I don't want you to do this, and you'll probably do this. Like,
No,
how do you
my
go
my
in
kids,
and
yeah.
prevent? Yeah, how do you
You know
prevent that?
what? My kids are so special. My kids are very they're their age. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Now kids 16, 15 years old. My son was talking to my niece yesterday and I overheard him saying, I'm so behind schedule. And I knew what he was talking about. My kids, myself, I was very um not naive, but I was very old fashioned, when I started my life as an adult.
When you say old
Um
fashioned, what do you mean by that?
that like, now it's like when you're talking about like sexual encounters, and is that what you're talking about? Like how do they become adults? That's for me,
It's like
becoming an adult
how
is
do
not
you
only how do I deal
so
with that?
yeah, there's a show called My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Hmm.
And when you're like a kid to like young adult, like from like 5 to like 13, there's this thing like, well, how do you act? How do you go? And it's like how to be human a little bit. But then after that, again, when you're like 12, 13, like when you start getting into the opposite sex, how do you navigate that? Because for guys, it's very confusing because a lot of times like they have this thing called like the Disney princess thing where they go in and they're inculcated with this feel like if you are a prince or if you're princely or if you save the girl, if you do what's right, you'll get the girl. But in practice, girls don't really go for that. They go for like
It's
the bad
drama.
boy.
Right now, I have two
Yeah.
teenagers. Are you kidding? Their hormones are crazy.
Yeah.
They are. Hold on. I need to take off
Yeah.
my
Tell me
gloves.
about
I
that ringtone.
can't.
Ooh,
There we go.
girl.
I use my I use my nose.
So yeah, like
You know what?
there
I have teenagers, and it's like their friends are going. Hormones are crazy. They're
yeah,
fighting. They're loving. You know, they're experimenting like with feelings, with touchy feelings. And
yeah,
my kids are very respectful because I want to make sure they understand. They not only they have to respect their bodies, but they have to respect the other person. We're very open about if they have any questions. What I do, I tell them, you know what, if I don't have the answer, let me do the research and I'll come back to you. And I do that. You know, sometimes they ask, you know, like questions. It's like, how do you know all this? But when you grow and you have an open relationship with them, conversation without crossing the line, you know, without crossing the limit of I'm not gonna tell them about me and my personal, you know, life.
of
But
course.
you know what I mean? It's like some other parents are very open. I'm very, you know, I'm their mom anyway. I don't cross, I'm not their friend, I'm their mom.
Sure.
And when you have an open relationship like that and you have open communication, nothing, it's a problem. You know, you just look for solutions all the time. You know, you always find a solution to whatever comes your way. And no, they haven't. My kids are what a 16 and a 15-year-old are supposed to be. That's the thing. They're not so much advanced like society right now. I was able to maintain. I think, you know, you set the example too. They pick up everything they see at home. And if you know, for example, I'm going to be honest with you, I have a 15-year-old daughter. I can't be bringing in men to my house because it will be, you know,
That's a
I
good
don't
idea.
I don't like that. I don't like that. And I'm not
Yeah,
what I
that's so
joke around.
strange too. I
Yeah.
because there's this. So there was in 2021, maybe 2022, I forget what year. My friend Joe was getting married, and I brought this my girlfriend at the time, Danielle, beautiful girl. She was a veterinarian, but she was a little bit older. And one of the songs that was played was I forget the name. It was a Beatles song, like where's she was just 17, you know what I mean, and the way she looked, like that song. I forget what it was, and we started dancing, and because so at the time I was like 30 or 31, and she was like a good 16, 17 years older than me. She was like late 40s. Um, and like one, I love that song just because it was the Beatles, great band. Um, but she's like, "Oh, how'd you feel about that song?" And I was like, "Oh, I love that song."
You
And she
didn't pay
said like,
attention
"Oh,
to the lyrics, huh? Until that
yeah."
moment.
And she was just like, "Oh, well, how do you feel about like, them talking about a younger person?" And I was like, It's just a good song." And she's like, "Well, how do you feel about like me being, X amount of years older?" Because she was like 16, 17 years older. And I was like, it's fine. I mean, because I was in the veterinary field where you were a responsible breeder if you neutered your dogs and cats at like 5 to 6 months old, because at that time, like at 6 months old, they're ready to like, they can breathe, they can get
I
that
know.
bred.
I have dogs.
Yeah, so you get it. And it's like, well, if you were to make that to humans, it's like, well, humans can sometimes get ready to breathe like super early. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I think she was feeling a certain type of way because I was so much younger than her. But
That's a
um
question that women, you know, guys, women who are older are always going to have that question in the back of their heads. It's
yeah.
like, you know, I, sorry, but my ex-husband was 10 years younger than me. I
Ooh. Ooh,
Yeah,
cougar.
I am
Yeah.
totally,
So
you
you
know,
like the younger
I don't
guys,
have a
huh?
limit. Legal
Yeah.
limit. Legal
Yeah.
limit. That's all. That's my only
So
limit. Legal.
so maybe I
Um,
should tell you that I'm only 22 and not 34.
maybe, maybe you know you're in the range. You're in the range. You're in the
Good, good,
brackets.
good.
No, but it's we always will have that on the back of our mind. Always. It's like, but we deal with it differently. It's like, if you have a guy that you like and he's younger, um trust me, it's the adrenaline goes crazy in your mind. It's like when you reach certain age and you like guys, I'm sure it's the same with guys that like girls younger, um but it's always going to be on the back of your mind. It's just like the times is different, so the goals are different. When you
Well,
get older, your goals is
yeah,
not marriage and having kids. It's something
yeah,
else. It's like have fun and have,
yeah.
and make the other person feel like he's like, yeah.
And like I told you, you know, I've only dated three girls in their 20s, but I've also dated three girls in their teens in the last 15 years. 15 years ago, I was 19, so that made sense. But then there
But
was
you
two
don't have to,
girls.
when you go out with girls that are a little bit older, you don't have to deal with, I'm sure some are immature, but it's like, it's a different thing. You
Yeah,
can
I
talk.
love that
I
because
think it's totally
there's no
different. It's like,
games.
oh my God,
It's just what
he
you
didn't
want.
call me in 3 weeks. What is going on? He's dating someone else. Well, guess what, girl? You're not gonna be marry material. Maybe yes,
So
who knows? Maybe
so
yes,
that's
who knows?
what.
Maybe someone, falls. I want someone to fall in love with me, my personality, you know, uh that's what I try to maintain. Hold on, 'cause I'm freezing. I'm like, "Ugh, the air conditioning is on." No wonder. I want someone to, you know, fall in love with me, not only
Yeah.
my looks, but my personality. And I think I bring something to the table that maybe
So
yes, maybe no. Like a
that's what
younger
gets
girl
hard.
cannot. Uh, I don't want to be a mommy. I don't want to be your mommy, guys. I don't want to
Oh
be your
yeah,
mommy.
no, like that. So what gets hard for me is that I'm live once or twice a day. I'm in spaces two or three times a day. And when I'm not doing those things, every waking hour, I'm writing the daCAT comic, I'm writing the Space Penguins, I'm writing the Nike the Pig. I'm building
You're
this
working.
big
Yeah,
business.
that's great. That's fantastic. That's
But
fantastic. I think who
so
will complain about that? That's a
well, a lot
thing.
of women like the idea of that, but when come into practice, they're like, can you like please spend time with me? And I want to, but it's I just
But
when
you
you're
know what
trying to
you do,
build
girls, and that you know what you do, girls, and that this is what girls. We need to teach girls how to deal,
older
with.
girls, you don't need to teach. Older girls
No,
like
no, but we
35
need
and
to
above are fine.
girls need to get smarter because the gap of what they do is getting younger. Young
Yeah.
girls doing what older girls used to do before are doing it much earlier. So they need to learn how to deal with that because what happened? That's the relationship gets messed up. They don't have any future. They're short. They don't last. They don't have good communication. So, dude, just learn about what your guys like or get
It,
together with a guy that you like the same things, that
well,
you
that's
can
hard with a
communicate.
younger girl because if you're like, so I can mostly relate to girls like 27 and above because I'm 34. But
Solution. Forget about younger girls. Got just go for the
well,
35
so
and up.
here's the thing. So like I again, I love older women. Like that is my jam.
Yes.
But if I so there's this in the a couple of girls that I've dated in the past like 5 years, it's been like a Paul McCartney song, like "Will you still need me when you will you still feed me when I'm 64?" Or when I'm their age at 48, they'll be 64, and that might be a little hard
That's
for
up to the
me.
woman. That's up to the woman. That's up to the woman too. The woman needs to, men and women are different the way they think.
Yeah.
Men, the older they get, they think, they still like the younger girls, and they
Well,
want
I
it. They think that the only ones who can satisfy what they what they want is it's a younger girl.
Well,
And
I mean, if you're talking about purely physical, sure, that's fine. But also, like, I like the conversations of a woman that's well read, of a woman that's had this life. I feel like we should talk about this offline. There's 367 people here. Let's talk about this stuff offline. Everyone say bye bye to Dashi. Bye bye, Dashi. And let's. What do you want to say to the people that are here right now before we talk offline?
I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to enter your world, your community.
Of course.
I am so thankful for this opportunity, Randy, to you, because we met at a space,
Yes.
and he invited me to be on his stream, and I feel extremely blessed and honored to be here. I wish I would have known more about the kind of stream that we were going to have, so I could prepare. I was just kind of like um, fooling around a lot. I get serious sometimes, but there's another time. There's another time for that.
Of course. We'll have you on
Um,
again.
yes, I want to learn more about VeVe. Thank you for telling me what it was all about. I wanted to bring Indikin to you guys. We are a small, very small community. We are kind of like the guinea pigs, and we're trying something new and something innovating. And we really want to. We're here to help, and we're here to share um, what we know, the blessings. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. I really appreciate you allowing me to enter your room. And I did this as, not because I love, putting on costumes, but I brought Julie Newmar's Catwoman 1960s, because I think she was the coolest one of all. And I did this for you guys, the lovers of comics, for the collectors of VeVe. It's just a way for me to support the preservation of the arts of the comic books, things that brought us so much happiness, so many laughs and tears and feelings. So thank you so much, Randy. Thank you everyone for watching. Give me a follow if you can, if you want. I'm on X all the time doing silly things, and I really love your support if you want to give it to me. If not, I'm just going to hang out like one of you guys and learn from you as well.
Of course, I appreciate it. This is awesome. Again, stay on until so we can talk off camera, and have you on again. This is great. Everyone.